But thankfully he made it. Mixu
Thanks.
made it here just in time to compete.
And doing pretty well with it as well, yeah. Getting the 2-0 Nicorakt, round number 1. Anyway, that's that series. This is this series, and we are starting in a Cosmic Sapphire. We're in the top left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top left-hand corner. We, of course, have the red Zerg player coming out from the land of India. He, of course, is going to be representing Alpha X. He is Demi.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Cosmic Sapphire, we have the Italian Protoss player himself representing Alpha X. It is Azura.
Completely slipped my mind that this was going to be a team kill until we spawned in game.
Yeah. Both are members of the, I believe, Alpha Drake faction of Alpha X. So it's great to see the
So
drag.
that makes a team kill even more teamy and killy.
Yeah, it's great to see them here. Fun fact, I believe we played against both these players in our team league show match that we had last week.
That did happen, yeah.
Yeah, they both got trounced by Patty Mac. No bias. No, but it's great to see them here, and it's really exciting to see that team kill, because we don't get to see it too often. You know, how will they fare against each other, especially because they do play together quite often. Not necessarily just when it comes to practice games, but I know that Alpha X do host a lot of like in-house tournaments that only their own players can participate in.
Yeah, it's a pretty good way of kind of measuring where a player is at and trying to figure out what they should work on, at least from a coach's perspective or something like that. But that is in-house. We're not really privy to that information.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't know what happens in the house of Alpha X. We'll see what happens here in the house of the Tuna, as so far relatively standard openers. I also love that chat is catching up a little bit, and I see some people being like, you can't tell us what to do, okay, we're gonna do the Honmono build. It's like, no, stop it. What is happening? Honmono, what have you done?
He has enlightened the world, is what he's done.
Yes. They can see the light, and the light is honorable. There we go.
Yeah. He is the next generation of Korean Terran players.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
He's the next Psyarch.
What?
Because he's in Japan.
Guys from Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Is that play Terran?
Yeah, Psyarch was Terran.
Ah, I remember it. For some reason, I don't know. I'm thinking of Vasravanya, I think.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Zerg.
I don't think we ever got to cast Psyarch together. We always missed him.
And every single time we're like, yeah, we'll cast him in the next round. And all of a sudden we don't.
Yeah, all of a sudden he switched over to Age of Empires. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. But yeah, I'm really curious to see how Azura approaches this matchup. Already we see something a little bit different, a little bit outside of, regular meta play, and that is not an Oracle first.
Yeah, Void Ray coming down. Which, at this point in the meta, if you see a Void Ray first coming in, you have to imagine the Protoss player is playing a little bit scared.
Yeah, or at least the Zerg player could be scared. We're all scared.
Yeah.
The Void Ray is going to deny vision here, and we can do a couple of things from here. Azura can embrace the previous meta and go for a second Stargate and start Void Ray production, or he can be a little bit cheeky, go for a Twilight Council, and go for a Glaive Adept follow-up.
Well, gotta keep our eyes on those gas counts. So far, Azura getting all of them. And not spending them on too much.
Yeah, all the gases are being taken. What's interesting is that Azura is still taking an expansion and is still taking a third base. This is a risky thing to do, by the way. He's being really greedy because the Void Ray is out here hunting down Overlords, not protecting this third, so a Ling run by could be dangerous.
And that's why you want to get more Void Rays, because if you don't have a Twilight or a second Stargate, but a Fleet Beacon instead, you are... Oh, man. Tempest?
we can either go Tempest or Carriers, one or the other, but regardless... Oh my god, what?
Actually, he's just going to get all his tech at once.
What?
I thought he was going to get a second Stargate once he saved up enough gas. I thought he was going to be saving up and then maybe researching Flux Veins to get more Void Rays, but instead, we get a Twilight And immediately after that, we get a Forge. I guess you can research shield upgrades if you're going to commit to this, but if you're going to commit to air, but he's not committing to air. He gets a Robo. And a mothership immediately!
Yaku, Azura has lost his mind, okay? I don't know what the hell's happening over in Italy. I think this is what happens when Rainer leaves and goes to Korea. You know, everyone loses their minds.
Oh god, we need to check on Ryu.
We need to check on Ryu, not like this. So, okay, a couple of things. One, there was a long period there where the Stargate wasn't doing anything, and I was really confused. I was like, is it going to be a Tempest or is it going to be a carrier? Something has to be done here. And it looked to me like Azura was completely switching gears, but now suddenly this looks intentional. He is specifically rushing Mothership.
Is he going to try to mass recall with gateway units?
I mean, this is so weird. So obviously, as a support unit early on, it's really safe because there is no Viper, there isn't going to be a Yoink, there isn't going to be a -400 anytime soon. So it can play a role defensively, especially cloaking everything. There's very little anti-air. Is it worth it just to go for a mass recall move?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Not if you want to go immediately into Queens.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna just stop kind of predicting what's gonna happen or trying to figure out what will happen here, and I'm like, and just watch it unfold. I think that's the only way we can really know for sure how this is gonna work out for Azura.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, you know what? Our brains just need to stop trying because we're hurting ourselves. So Mothership comes out. Bearing in mind that
he's going around.
Yeah, Demi hasn't seen anything yet, by the way.
He's rallying it across the map.
Yeah, Demi hasn't been able to get in with an Overlord or an Overseer or anything. He's playing very blind right now. He's playing it safe. He's making non-stop queens. Looking at the unit count, we have 8 queens already, which is fine to defend. He's still trying to piece together what he's playing against. And right now, he's at least he's taking up towards Hive. You know, at least he's doing that so he can work in towards those Vipers. But as you were saying, Azura is sneaking across the map. And I love that he's got an escort to make sure there's no Overlord.
Yeah! This is so well thought out.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's thought out. I don't know how well thought out it is.
Oh my god, Demi has no idea what's happening, and the army is slowly banking up back at home. He's gonna go for a recall, and he's gonna force field the ramp. He's gonna force field Demi out of his own base.
And he's gonna have the War Prism immediately there. Does a War Prism get recalled while in siege mode?
I don't know, man.
Because if it does, then that's an instant warping point for him.
I've never seen this before. Demi's army is completely out of position. By the way, his lings are across the map, so he may be forced all in after this happens. He may just have to give up his base.
I thought maybe Demi could catch a glimpse of that mothership. It's a massive unit, but apparently not. Demi has had zero vision on this the entire time.
Oh my god, here's the recall! He's coming in!
Here's everything, and it's all cloaked! There's no detection here!
It's all cloaked. He's coming towards the ramp. He is ready to force field Demi out, and the main base is going to go down. There is that force field. Demi has to go all in. He has to go for a massive counterattack. He can't do anything about this.
The Overseers are going down, which also eats up the supply caps him, dude.
Demi is supply block. Meanwhile, here we go. The Link Bane is rolling on in. These are slow Banes, by the way. The spawning pool was even taken down.
A couple of Banelings are able to sneak past these force fields, but they crash into Immortals and not most of the army. Detection is provided here by the Spore Crawlers, but so much has gone down. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, this is the saving grace of Demi. Azura has no defenses back home.
Exactly. Third base of Demi has fallen. Demi has to keep on going again. He's all in, as you were saying. There are plenty of spores here to provide detection. And Azura lost a lot of his sentries. He can't really force field anymore. So the Link Bane here of Demi can find some success, as the spawning pool was just remade, and we have 34 more Lings on the way.
I like this from Demi. He's kind of leapfrogging the Spore Crawler production, making sure to just slow down Azura as much as possible. You know, this cloaked army isn't going to be able to just walk into Banelings without getting hurt.
Exactly. There's so much Link Bane here waiting for the army of Azura. We need force field. We don't have any sentries.
Yeah, were they taken out?
Yeah, they were.
Well, now there's detection from Spore Crawlers, and these Banelings are just having a fun time walking straight into the Stalkers, but it's actually a very nice split here. From Azura, the mothership goes down, and these queens and spore crawlers are immediately targeting down the warp prism. I think Demi has done it.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I am shocked that Azura didn't warp in another wave of sentries. There are no Ravagers. There was literally no way for Demi to deal with force fields, especially pushing into this choke point, into the natural base. Azura just kept warping in wave after wave of Stalkers instead, and as a result, he was punished for it. The push was cleaned up. He does hold on to his third base, so economically, he's still in a decent position, but he lost everything across the map.
We finally saw it at -400, -400.
We did.
It's inevitable.
Oh my god, it's it is inevitable. We have a Ling run by here, focusing down the third base, and there's just not enough DPS to stop it. There we go, the third base goes down. There were no shield batteries, there was nothing here to stop it, and Demi from here, he can just cruise on in. Like, he's got so many bases, he's got such a superior economy, he can just keep producing Ling Bane.
He's even taking the gold, because why the hell not?
Yeah.
He needs to prioritize his mineral production right now, so yeah, might as well. There's no way Azura can punish that.
No way, mate. There's no way. Oh my god. Meanwhile, Azura, you know, he's got to do what he can. He's all in across the map. He's only on 2 bases. He has to try to end the game, but there are so many Lings. The Queen survived from earlier. Everything is going to get surrounded, and
yeah, not to mention all the creep spread over here. These queens may be the only anti-air, but they're going to be able to get on top of this warp prism pretty easily. GG is called. Demi defends beautifully and takes game number 1.
GG, well played. I love how Mixu's also in the chat. He's like, I experienced this build in EPT NA.
Of course it was NA.
Yeah. And Mixu himself says, without Ravagers, it can be problematic, but you don't need Ravagers if there aren't any sentries, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I can kind of understand why Azura warped in more Stalkers at that point, because I guess he was kind of expecting to lose some of them, and he thought, okay, I want to prioritize damage right now if I'm also being attacked across the map. But yeah, like you said, if Sentry's 100% the better unit to make there, it's just, you know, with everything going on, it's hard to be able to recognize that in the moment.
It's one of those things where I'm pretty sure Azura didn't know how large the army was. If you remember, getting into that main base, he was able to kill all the tech. He killed the spawning pool as well. So I'm sure he thought he was in a more comfortable position than he was. So when he had the option to play it safe or be aggressive, he's like, no, yeah, I'll just get more DPS. I'll warp in more Stalkers. You know, they trade relatively well against Banelings already. May as well, right? So I can snowball and end the game. He just didn't quite have the vision that we had, obviously, on what was waiting for him outside at the 3rd and the 4th.
Yeah, this is why motherships should have revelation.
What's wrong with you?
I love how Asher Bro is describing this in chat. It's basically a Nidus all in, but for Protoss.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It also takes a little bit longer, but yeah. That's what it is. Anyway, we are going to be continuing our best of 3 here on Tropical Sacrifice. We're in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. We, of course, have our red Zerg player coming out from the Jewel of India. He is, of course, going to be representing Alpha X, already having an advantage over his teammate here. Can he bring it all the way home? He is Demi.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tropical Sacrifice, we have the Italian Protoss player himself representing Alpha X. He's crazy, he's wild, he rushed a mothership last game. It is Azura.
I don't even need to see the rest of the series, Light. Azura's going on the list of players who I want to lock in a team house together to see what they can come up with. It's Azura, Hanmono, Yomika, Ziggy.
Yep.
The list goes on.
Bring them all in, mate. Eon, Yomika.
Eon.
Demi himself, he's like, man, I thought I was losing my mind. I
was like, what is this shimmer happening in my main base? That's too big to be an observer.
And I'll be honest, I didn't ladder today, and I'm scared. I'm scared to jump onto the ladder. If this catches on And that mothership all in is going to be something else that we have to keep an eye on. Like, I am terrified.
Your ZvP win rate has actually been improving.
Not anymore, mate. It's going to...
Past couple of weeks. Now we throw this in?
No.
I will say this about the build. It does seem like scouting... It does seem like it's easily countered if you can ever get a scout off into that main base. That's why the Void Ray early on is so crucial to this build.
Definitely. Very insanely crucial. So it almost worked out there for Azura. Again, it's one of those things where I don't expect to see that build again here from our Protoss player, but already we have some very interesting things happening. Standard openers, but we see a Sentry first coming out from Azura, followed by a Hidden Forge in the main.
Looped cannons. No, that's not a thing.
So, yeah, this is very odd, and Demi hasn't been able to see the Sentry yet, unfortunately, so he doesn't have eyes on this, but, like, this is screaming +1. Am I feeling a charge all in? I don't know, like, this is just wild.
I feel like with a Sentry first, you can really go either charge or blink, but we'll see what it's going to be here for Azura. Obviously, it might also depend a little bit on what he scouts across the map.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to go for a charge all in if your Zerg opponent goes for a Baneling necessarily on.
What's interesting is he's getting another Sentry, so maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe there won't be a Twilight Council, maybe just a Robo. Maybe it could just be a +1 vanilla gateway, kind of like Soul Train-esque push.
Yeah, we'll keep our eyes open for that Robo facility. This is... Yeah, I just want Azura to come up with a list of builds to make his opponents trip balls.
I'll be honest, watching this second game here, experiencing this series makes me want to cast more of Azura. I feel like we have been deprived of him for far too long here on the Cranky Ducklings. We're finally being introduced, and
we could break into the Italy.
It's love at first sight. It
really is. Using a mothership to mass recall immediately. Few players have done that.
It's crazy, mate. It's crazy. And even here, so this should be leading us towards a 2-base all-in. There is that Robo that we were looking for. Our sentry count is quite high. So what's important is that these sentries have been scouted. So even though Demi hasn't really gone into the main base, he should know it's going to be a ground focus push. He did see the Forge researching, so going for the Roach Warren is the right call. He just has to be careful not to be too greedy and not to drone up too much.
Yeah, Roach is definitely a great defensive unit, Roaches and Ravagers, but you need Larva to make them.
Yeah, you do.
They're only good if you have them.
Yeah, and right now we have 0 Roaches. The first Roach is on the way. 1 Overlord goes down. Ooh, that actually supply blocks Demi, so he can only make 2 Roaches. 5 more Overlords are in production.
And that's a little bit unfortunate right now, but thankfully for Demi, Azura is waiting a little bit before committing to his push. Demi has a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, this is so wild. So +1 finished a while ago, and it looks like he's going to go for a +2 push instead. And he's getting a 3rd base, so he's adapting his style. There is that upgrade. It is going to be for a charge-based push. But this does feel a little bit mistimed. It does feel a little bit inefficient, almost as if he wanted to hit a timing, he missed it a little bit, and now he's trying to adapt from there.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he was trying to go for a vanilla stalker push with a lot of sentries early on, but yeah, was able to recognize that time has passed. That's a lot of creep. That's quite a number of queens. You're probably getting roaches as well. I'm just gonna take a step back, get ready for round 2, which he's doing pretty well right now.
Yeah, this is scary because
the timing on the timing on +2 and charge as well.
Yeah, and this is, I would say, scary for Azura, because the longer this goes on, the more chances Demi has at just establishing himself with a good economy, and 64 to 63 drones is going to be perfectly fine, and making an army. Oh my god, the
Prism!
Oh.
Definitely was not expecting to see those 2 queens there. Prism goes down, as well as 2 adepts. That was what Azura was doing to try to slow the economy of Demi down. As he was saying, the last thing Azura wants right now is for his Zerg opponent to get set up, not just on his defenses, but also having a very good economy to support those units.
Yeah.
Now, Azura stuck on his side of the map.
Yep, and as soon as that prism died, he starts a Templar Archives. It looks like Azura has recognized that he cannot be aggressive, he cannot hit a timing anymore, he cannot reinforce across the map without a prism, so now he has to look to go into a longer game, and I really don't think that's what he wanted. I really don't think he wanted to be in this situation, but he's forced to either do this or force himself all in, and I don't think he even believes that would work.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. It's definitely still possible for Protoss to turtle up on 3 bases in PvZ and just try to get a superior late endgame army, but like you said, Azura just was not set up to do that at all. He's scrambling a little bit now to make sure he can get that economy up and running and to be able to defend that economy as well. But in the meantime, Demi, he's just spreading more creep. He's getting his tech. He's upgrading his Hydras. He's getting his Infestation Pit.
Yeah.
Demi's going to hit his checkpoint so much sooner than Azura.
Exactly, and Azura is now pushing out. He has rebuilt that prism. It's on the way. This is going to hit with +2. +2 is going to finish up in a couple of seconds. So he's hitting a timing, sure, but it's just really late. And we can already see the disparity in the army supplies. The overall supplies. Just look at the soup, mate. Oh.
Yeah, it ain't lying.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, he delays the 5th.
Yeah! He delays the 5th, you know, he's warping in another wave of Zealots, he has 3 Archons, he has plenty of energy for force fields. Like, this army is still relatively strong, but at the same time, he's just running into a wall of almost maxed out Zerg.
Yeah, you can really tell he's just trying his best to bait Demi into an unfavorable fighting position right now. But Demi ain't falling for it.
Yeah, he's not falling for it. He's being patient. He's waiting for his upgrades. Hydra Speed is going to be on the way. I imagine a Hive is going to be on the way soon. Infestation Pit, that's kind of the only things that we're really missing here for Demi. But he's feeling pretty comfortable, pretty confident, and there's honestly no reason not to push out, especially once we get maxed.
Like right about now. Which is what Demi is, maxed, I mean.
Yeah, pretty much, mate. He's pushing out across the map. Azura has eyes on all of this, so he's trying to prepare himself back at home. We have a couple of shield batteries. We have a couple of cannons. Maybe they can come into play, but it looks like Demi is looking to try and fight outside of that and head into the natural. Azura setting up a bit of a surround, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's thick enough to be a surround, but those are some really nice force fields. Ravagers forced to throw down their biles on top of them. Not too many biles land on the army itself. Demi's army is definitely thinning out, but of course behind all of this, Demi had a bank. He spent that bank, and now he's remaxed.
Yeah, like Azura took a very good fight here. You pointed out the force fields were exactly what he needed. He cut the army in half. Azura takes a beautiful fight. But Demi is not just remaxing, he is refining his army, working on a Lurker Den, working on that Hive.
Yeah, he pretty much just needed to get rid of some supply. Which yeah, better ways to no! That poor Zealot.
Oh my god. Ay, calm down, puppy, calm down. Yeah, a lot of the roaches were cleaned up, and again, as you were saying, Demi can refine his army ever more. I have the Lurker Den finishing up so we can get into Hydra Lurker Viper. That's going to be the army of choice here for Demi. Azura, his next kind of goal in life is going to be to try and establish a 4th base, and it's going to be on the way, and that's going to be the next target for Demi.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough ask for the Protoss player on Tropical Sacrifice. So, I mean, just look at the distance between the 3rd and the 4th base here. This isn't the most mobile army right now for Azura, and yeah, he's gonna have to split. It's not a very large army, and it's not particularly mobile either.
Yeah, exactly.
Gonna have a tough time going between them.
He will. Oh boy, and Demi, I guess right now he's just kind of picking his targets. He doesn't want to hit the 3rd, doesn't want to go for the 4th base. He's going to try and push up this ramp. He does get spotted by Azura, so Azura's going to be able to reposition his army. Demi has to be careful because his Lurkers get caught out.
Yeah, the Lurkers get caught out. A lot of Hydras and Roaches get papped into an awkward position.
Yeah.
Nice little fight here for Azura, and the army has thinned out enough that, yeah, he's comfortable fighting on even ground. It's mostly Lings and Hydras, as long as he doesn't push into the Lurkers.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, right? Azura has to be very careful with how he maneuvers this army. He doesn't want to push in to a choke point. He doesn't want to push into a trap being set up here by Demi. His Lurkers do reposition, and again, pushing into this Lurker line, I don't know if that's going to be the best idea here for Azura.
It is a nice concave. The Immortals are definitely getting their shots in, but that's just way too much damage from those Lurkers.
Yeah.
Azura underestimated the power of vanilla lurkers. I mean, they're not really vanilla, are they?
Lair tech lurkers.
The Lair tech lurkers. There we
go. Without range, without adaptive talents, but yeah, Demi's able to break through the majority of the army. There's a little bit that does survive, a couple of immortals, I might add, but what can 2 immortals do in the face of all of these lurkers? No vipers included, so a little bit less finesse available to Demi, but I don't think he needs it.
Yeah, we're at the point where he can just, or he's at the point where he can just sort of brute force his way through. Hydras are ganging up on top of the Archons, and from there, it's not too difficult to deal with the Immortals. GG! Demi takes that series 2-0.
Oof.
After seeing that, I kind of regret not starting off with Azura versus Blue Knight. Not gonna lie, like.
I know. GG, well played. Massive shout out to Azura. His tournament run ends, but I think we all, including the people watching in the chat, I think we all had a lot of fun watching Azura. You know, like, sure, he struggled, but mate, game 1 was wild. The fact that he rushed a fleet beacon to go into a mothership,
Yep.
like. That was crazy. And even this game, like, I was looking at chat and a lot of people were trying to piece it together as well. They're like, what the hell's going on? Like, who opens up Sentry, goes into a fast forge, doesn't hit a timing with +1, delays his robo, and like, it was so...
Azura does that.
Azura, man. It was wild. And yeah, again, it just goes to show that, like, it goes to show that you can still be one of the best players in a certain region in Europe, and, you know, and BGM, of course, and do well for yourself and play your own way, have your own style.
Yeah. You don't have to conform. You don't have to, you know, you don't have to follow the ways of Demauer, I guess. Talking to you.
Yeah, showtime. Yeah, it goes to show that, again, you can do whatever you want, right? And that goes along the lines of not just players like Azura, but Hon Mono for Terran, 3-point for Zerg. You know, you can have that flexibility and still be competitive. But of course, his run does come to an end, and congratulations to Demi for withstanding all of that and maintaining his mentality.
Well, we'll see about it. I mean, he does have experience against like Beast Orc,
true,
and whatnot. So maybe, his mental fortitude is a little bit stronger than average. But I mean, still, he even was saying it himself. He was tripping hard.
Yeah,
he was confused when he saw a shimmer in his main. And was like, "What the hell?"
He didn't believe me.
Am I hallucinating?
Am I awake right now? Did I pull a Starduck and sleep in? I don't know.